We all feel it, right? That
Right.
that constant pressure to just get to the next thing, to
Mhm.
kind of fast forward through the boring bits, the tough parts, the waiting. Just grit your teeth and get through it.
Yeah, we're always looking ahead
Yeah.
to the weekend, the holiday, the project deadline, whatever it is,
Yeah.
as if that's the only place happiness lives.
Exactly. And then, well, most of our actual life, the journey just becomes this waiting room, something to endure, not enjoy. We just try to survive the doldrums.
It's such a common trap,
Yeah.
We're wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain,
Yeah.
so we project happiness onto some future event. When X happens, then I'll be happy.
Right. Once I get past this.
Yeah. And the irony is we completely miss the richness, the potential for joy that's right here now in the process itself. The now just feels like transit.
It really makes you stop and think, though, what if? What if there's another way? Not like pretending challenges don't exist because, well, life happens, but changing how we experience them. What if we could actually find opportunities, maybe learn something, maybe even find some joy, not just at the end, but like in the steps along the way, even the messy ones?
That's exactly the question that kicked off this whole deep dive for us. We've been looking into a whole bunch of different sources, psychology research, mental health wisdom, stories from people who've faced really big stuff.
Okay.
And this clear theme emerges. Finding joy, finding opportunity in the journey. It's not just some nice idea. It's actually a set of skills, a way of being you can learn.
A learnable skill set. Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it fundamentally changes how you experience your life.
So that's what we're doing today, taking those insights, boiling them down.
Pretty much. We
Okay.
want to give you a shortcut based on what we found to understanding how you might start living a more present, maybe more fulfilling life, uncovering those, hidden gifts right where you are.
Getting better informed about how to shift our own experience. I like it.
So let's dive into the first big idea from the sources. It sounds almost too simple, but it's huge. The power of your perspective.
Okay.
But the core idea is that how you see the journey isn't just observing, it's actively creating your experience. And the sources are really clear. This is a choice.
A choice. That feels like a big statement when you're, really struggling with something difficult. How do they frame that?
Well, one source uses that old saying, April showers bring May flowers. You know it.
Sure. Endure the rain to get the nice part.
Exactly. But think about how that frames it. The showers, the process, the challenges, the effort. They're just something you have to persevere through.
Ah, right. The focus is all on the flowers, the destination. The rain is just an obstacle course, probably wet and miserable.
Precisely. And when we use language like that, even just in our heads, this is a hurdle, just got to get through this. Ugh, what a grind. We're training our brains.
How so?
We're telling our brain to experience it as a negative thing.
Yeah.
It builds resistance. It makes the rain itself seem bad. It's just this inconvenient delay before you get to the real joy of the flowers.
Okay, but then the choice part, where does that come in? This is where it gets interesting, right?
This is the pivot. What if, instead of just enduring the showers, you chose to find the joy in the showers? Not as a means to an end, but as an experience worth having right then.
Finding joy in the rain itself.
Yeah. The source suggests really shifting your focus, like step outside. What do you hear? The different sounds raindrops make, on leaves, on the street, on the roof. It's like a symphony almost.
Okay.
What do you see? The way the drops dance or cling to things. What about the smell? That amazing earthy smell when rain starts. Petrichor, they call it.
You're talking about making the rain the point, the sensory experience.
Exactly that. And suddenly, it's not just an annoyance to get past. It's a gift within the journey, something to be fully present for, appreciated for what it is right now. Not just delay before the sun comes out.
And this isn't just about weather, obviously. This applies to, well, anything, right? Any task.
Absolutely. Any step, any goal. Cleaning the house can be a dreaded chore they have to do. Or you could choose to notice the feel of the warm water, the smell of the soap, the satisfaction of creating order. Maybe focus on how nice it'll feel tomorrow morning.
It's about where you put your attention.
And the sources really hammer this point about internal dialogue when you think, ugh, gotta power through, or this is so boring, or another hurdle. You're sending a signal.
To your brain.
Yep. And your brain, being efficient, tends to deliver what it thinks you want. So it starts actively looking for evidence of the boredom, the difficulty, the negativity you just flagged.
Wow. So you're actually training your brain to find the bad stuff just by how you talk to yourself about it.
That's the idea. But the flip side is also true. If you consciously choose a different frame, okay, what's one interesting angle here? How can I find just a moment of calm in this traffic? What skill am I actually using right now? You start retraining it.
You're telling it to look for the positive, the interesting bits, the potential enjoyment?
Exactly. You're directing its attention.
So that internal negotiation, how we label things moment to moment, that might be the most important negotiation we have all day.
One source puts it exactly like that. It's this ongoing choice, training your brain bit by bit to seek out the good stuff, notice the beauty, look for the gifts, and just allow yourself to be present. Bask in whatever positive you can find right now.
It's not about pretending bad stuff isn't happening.
Not at all. It's about choosing where you focus your mental energy within that reality. It sounds simple, maybe, but the sources suggest it can fundamentally change how you experience everything, a total game changer.
Okay, perspective is foundational, that mental frame, but, doing it, especially when you're really in the thick of the showers, that feels like it needs some practical backup. How do you stay anchored in that perspective when your gut reaction is just resistance or feeling overwhelmed?
That's the perfect transition. The sources move right into practical application, stressing how crucial it is to anchor yourself in the present moment. And the best way to do that, simple, everyday mindfulness practices.
Right, mindfulness. And yeah, lots of people hear that and think, complicated retreats, hours of meditation.
And the sources are quick to say, nope, not necessarily. They really emphasize it's not about adding another thing to your to-do list. It's about changing how you do the things you're already doing.
Transforming existing tasks.
Yeah. Intentionally pausing, resetting, connecting with right now, even just for a few seconds, but doing it multiple times a day. Shifting gears from autopilot to intentional action.
Autopilot. That's like the fast brain reaction, the immediate unconscious habit or emotion kicking in.
Exactly. The sources mentioned, like, up to 95% of what we do can be run by that fast brain. Mindfulness is engaging the slow brain, the deliberate, conscious, intentional part of you.
Got it.
So these practices are designed to help put that slow brain, the part that chooses the perspective, back in charge.
Okay, let's dig into them. There were 5 simple ones outlined in one source. First one, the mindful wake-up. Sounds like it sets the stage.
It totally does. The main idea is set your intention before the day grabs you, before the emails, the news, the social media feeds pull you in different directions.
Start deliberately.
Yeah. It helps align that slower conscious brain with a faster automatic one. You tap into deeper motivations, your purpose, connection, who you want to be.
Okay, so practically, how do you do it? You wake up and...
Before grabbing the phone, just sit up, maybe on the edge of the bed, get comfy, close your eyes if you like, and just take 3 slow, deep breaths. Feel the air come in, go out.
Creating a little buffer zone before the day starts.
Precisely. Just a small space. Then gently ask yourself, what's my intention for today? And the source gives prompts like, how do I want to show up? What quality patience, kindness, focus do I want to cultivate? What do I need for self-care today? How can I handle tough moments with more compassion for myself or others? Where might I find connection or fulfillment?
So it's not about the task list, but the quality of how you approach the day.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
You might settle on something like, today I'll meet challenges with curiosity, or I'll look for moments of calm, or I'll be kind. And the key thing is, revisit it.
Yeah.
Throughout the day, just a quick pause, a breath. Am I aligned with my intention?
Checking back in.
Yeah, that conscious check-in strengthens the link between the slow brain's intention and the fast brain's actions.
That makes a lot of sense. Actively pulling your best intentions into the present over and over. Okay, what's number 2?
Mindful eating. Probably the activity most of us do on total autopilot.
Guilty as charged. Eating while working, watching something.
Yeah.
It's often just fuel.
So common.
Yeah.
But the source points out eating is fundamental. It can nourish our body, yes, but also our senses, our mood, even our connection to the world, thinking about where the food came from, that kind of thing.
Right.
Making it mindful turns it from just refueling into something richer, more grounding.
How do we break that autopilot habit then?
First step, pause and take a few deep breaths before you start eating, like 8 or 10 slow breaths. It tells your nervous system, okay, shift from go, go, go to rest and digest. It calms you down, prepares your body.
Creating a clear transition into the meal.
Yes. Second, check in with your body's hunger signals before you decide what or how much to eat. The 4th suggests maybe a simple 1 to 10 scale. Am I actually physically hungry? Or is it habit, stress, boredom?
Listening to the body, not just the clock or the craving.
Spot on. Third, eat based on that real hunger. Choose food that feels nourishing and tastes good. Eat the amount that feels right now. 4th, practice peaceful eating. Slow down. Breathe while you eat. Chew well. Put your fork down sometimes. It helps you savor it, helps digestion too.
And that last tip is great. If you don't love it, don't eat it.
Yeah, it's about discernment, honoring yourself. Really taste the first few bites. Pay attention. Flavor, texture, temperature. Is this actually enjoyable? Is it feeling good? Make a conscious choice to continue only if the answer is yes. Turns a meal into sensory appreciation.
Okay, mindful wake up, mindful eating. What's the third practice?
The mindful pause. This one directly targets that 95% autopilot statistic. It's about deliberately slotting moments of slow brain awareness back into your day. The source admits it's tricky because those fast brain habits are like superhighways in our neural pathways.
Deeply grooved paths. So how do we interrupt the traffic on the superhighway?
The source mentions behavior design tricks. One is trip over what you want to do. Want to remember a mindful breath. Put a physical reminder, a pebble, a note right where you'll see it or bump into it. Want to stretch. Yoga mat in the middle of the floor.
Make the desired action impossible to ignore.
Pretty much. Another is refresh your triggers. If you use sticky notes, change their color or location often. Your fast brain gets used to static things and filters them out. Novelty grabs attention.
Like a pattern interrupt for your own brain. I like that.
Exactly. And building if this, then that patterns is huge. Link an existing trigger to a new mindful action. If the phone rings, then I take one deep breath before answering. If I stand up from my chair, then I quickly scan my body for tension. If I reach for the office door, then I set an intention for the meeting.
Using the automatic habit to launch a conscious choice. Very clever.
And it adds up. The source really stresses this. Every tiny intentional action strengthens those slow brain pathways, builds neuroplasticity. Like exercising a muscle. It's effortful at first. Gets easier.
Right. Okay, from pauses to the mindful workout. This isn't just about hitting the gym, though, is it?
Not at all. It's about bringing awareness to any physical movement. Formal workout, sure, but also dancing, gardening, walking, stretching, anything. Engaging body and breath consciously, feeling grounded and centered, instead of just moving while your mind's off planning dinner.
So instead of mentally writing emails on the elliptical, you're focused on what exactly?
First, set a clear aim for the movement itself. Beyond just get fit, maybe I'm going to focus on my breath rhythm, or I'll notice the air on my skin, or I'll feel gratitude for my body's movement.
An intention for the physical experience itself?
Yes. Then warm up mindfully. Really try to sync your breath with the movements. It helps align brain, heart rate, nervous system, gets everything working together. As you get into the activity, keep that focus on breath and movement coordination.
Paying attention to how the body actually feels moving.
Exactly. Even when it gets tough, when you push yourself, notice how alive your body feels, how your breath changes, how alert you are. Experience the vitality of it. And then, crucially, mindfully cool down and rest. Notice the sensations as your body settles. Notice your surroundings.
It sounds like turning exercise from just function into connection, connecting with your own physical self.
Absolutely. Synchronizing mind and body, reducing stress, feeling embodied. Which leads nicely to the fifth practice, maybe the most relatable challenge, mindful driving.
Oh boy, traffic jams. The ultimate stress test. How on earth do you practice mindfulness there?
The sources actually frame traffic jams as these, built-in opportunities for practice. It's the perfect time for the slow brain to step in before the fast brain goes full road rage.
Okay, so instead of immediately gripping the wheel tighter, you...
First, deep breath.
Yeah.
Seriously, just one conscious inhale and exhale. It creates that tiny pause between the trigger traffic and your usual reaction.
Gives you a moment of choice.
That micro pause for perspective.
Yes. Second, in that pause, ask, what do I need right now? Safety, ease, relief, patience.
And then you try to give it to yourself. Seems kind of radical in traffic.
It does, but it's powerful. Need ease. Scan your body. Consciously soften your shoulders, your jaw, your grip. Silently repeat a phrase like, may I be at ease, or it's okay to be frustrated, I can still be calm.
Self-compassion in the car.
Yeah. Third, look at the other drivers. Realize they're like you. They want to be safe, get where they're going, feel okay. They're stuck too.
Seeing the shared humanity in the jam.
Exactly. And maybe mentally offer them the same wish. May you be at ease. May you be safe. Even just thinking it can shift your internal state. And fourth, take another deep breath. The whole thing can take like 15 seconds, but it can totally change your reaction. Those are all so practical, woven into things we already do. It's not about escaping life, but engaging more fully.
That's the core message. These small daily acts, waking, eating, causing, moving, driving mindfully, they compound. They build that slow brain strength, make you less reactive to stress, improve focus, and just lead to a richer, more intentional life. Maybe even keeping a journal, noting the shifts, helps make it stick.
Okay, so we've got perspective, we've got mindfulness for staying present. That helps a lot when things are relatively okay. But life throws curveballs, right? Real obstacles, setbacks, genuine difficulties. How do you keep finding opportunity or keep that journey joy thing going when you're facing real adversity?
Yeah. This is where cultivating specific internal skills comes in. The sources are very clear. The path isn't always smooth, but certain skills act like navigation equipment for storms. They help you move through challenges and, importantly, keep finding meaning, insight, maybe even a different kind of joy despite the hardship.
And there was that one study we looked at that really focused on this, right? Exploring what they called the skill to overcome life's obstacles, especially for people doing challenging things for others.
Yes, that study was fascinating. They did deep interviews with people who'd faced and navigated serious life problems. They defined this skill as being able to adapt positively and function well, even when facing difficulties, developing through the tough times.
And they pinpointed key skills these people had. The first one, probably the best known, is resilience.
Right. Resilience here means positive adaptation to adverse conditions. Think mental springiness. The source used fun analogies, like a roly-poly toy gets knocked down, pops right back up, or an unsinkable buoy tossed around but stays afloat.
Not avoiding the waves, but riding them out.
Exactly. It's having those internal mechanisms to stay stable and adapt. The study talks about this interplay between risk factors, the bad stuff like trauma, tough home life, illness, and protective factors.
Protective factors being
Things like internal resources, self-esteem, skills, and external support, good friends, mentors, teachers, and how these interact leads to positive adaptation, which is the healthy outcome despite the risks.
Can you give an example from this study, like Jan's story?
Yeah, Jan's story is powerful. He had a really traumatic car accident and nearly died. Huge risk factor. Plus, a difficult home life with a very critical mother. But interestingly, that criticism became a sort of ironic protective factor. It fueled this deep drive in him to prove her wrong.
Wow.
And crucially, he also had teachers who supported him, saw his potential, another key protective factor.
So how did that resilience play out? What was the positive adaptation?
We channeled all that energy and drive into this community project, the Cycling City, a pro-social task that became his pathway. It gave him purpose, empowerment, new meaning after the trauma, and despite the home situation, he wasn't just coping, he was building something positive.
Turning that resistance into fuel. Amazing. What about Eolina? She also had an accident.
Yes, another car accident disrupted her life. Plus, she was dealing with her parents splitting up. Her protective factors were a mix. Internal stability from her long involvement in art and school groups, theater, music, things that felt safe and were an escape, and externally, her friends.
Okay, so how did resilience show up for her?
When the accident happened, her friends were incredible. Selfless support, visits, just really showed up. That, plus being forced to slow down because of injuries, led to this big realization for her about the importance of making time for people, for connection. That shift in values, born from the adversity and the support she received, was her positive adaptation.
It's striking how often growth comes directly out of hardship.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the study connects resilience to things like setting clear goals, solving problems effectively, maintaining relationships, having self-respect even when facing smaller, everyday difficulties, not just big crises.
Okay, so resilience is key. The second skill they identified was optimism. Feels related to perspective.
Definitely related. Optimism here means confidence in getting results you want, generally expecting things to turn out okay. The sources highlight its adaptive power. Even if things are uncertain, optimism motivates you to act. If you believe things can improve, you're more likely to try.
It gives you the energy for the showers, basically.
Exactly. And it boosts mood, life satisfaction, acts like a natural stress buffer, helps you see a way forward in a crisis.
And the study contrasted optimists with pessimists. Right?
Yeah, this is important. Optimists tend to blame failures on external things. Bad traffic made me late. Or temporary things. I messed up this time, but I can do better next time. They believe they can overcome obstacles because the cause isn't seen as some permanent flaw in them.
Whereas pessimists
tend to blame failures on internal stable traits. I'm always late. I fail because I'm just not smart. That kind of thinking is really paralyzing.
But the good news is optimism isn't just something you have or don't. It can be learned.
Absolutely. It can be cultivated, and it makes a huge difference to well-being. like Aldana in the study. Her parents were quite pessimistic. She saw that negativity and consciously chose to hang out with more positive people. She directly credits learning that positive attitude for her own resilience.
So optimism helps find joy, or at least keeps hope alive, by focusing on possibilities and the idea that your effort counts, even when things are tough.
Right. Then the third skill, self-reliance. The study used a lovely phrase, being their own author.
Author of your own story, developing through independence, having agency.
That's the feeling. It's linked to courage, personal power, resisting being overwhelmed. It comes from believing in your own effectiveness that you can influence outcomes.
And Jadwiga's story illustrated this.
Yes, she started out quite shy, lacking confidence. Her path to self-reliance came through working at an NGO. It forced her into constant contact with diverse people, pushing her way outside her comfort zone.
Trial by fire, almost.
In a way. But she found real satisfaction, joy even, in the work. And through successfully doing it, navigating those interactions, she gradually built that belief in herself, learned to rely on her own capabilities.
The engagement built the skill, and the skill brought the satisfaction. Cool.
Exactly. Self-reliance lets you steer your own ship, pursue goals you value, and get that deep satisfaction from feeling confident and effective.
And the fourth skill was entrepreneurship, which sounds businessy, but the study meant it more broadly.
Yes, much broader. It's about pursuing goals proactively, innovatively, maybe taking some risks, focusing on the steps you're taking now towards a future goal. It involves self-control, strong motivation to hit ambitious but achievable targets, setting a vision, breaking it down, that kind of thing.
So having a vision plus the drive and initiative to actually work towards it step by step.
Right. And the study had great examples. Kuznetsov, for instance. He was really sensitive to criticism, could have held him back. But he channeled that frustration into something entrepreneurial, starting a music festival for niche artists who struggled to get heard.
Turning his own pain point into a project to help others.
Exactly. His motivation came from his own experience, and he found huge satisfaction in organizing it, helping others debut. It was a direct creative response to his challenge. And then Ala, dealing with family insecurity, used her entrepreneurial spirit to lead a project for the homeless.
How did that help her?
By taking initiative driving this project, she found immense satisfaction, purpose, and a much stronger belief in her own effectiveness. Helping others feel valued, challenging stereotypes, it created something meaningful, and that, in turn, strengthened her.
These stories really show how self-reliance and that proactive entrepreneurial spirit can lead to joy, not just in the end result, but in the actual doing, building, contributing.
And what's crucial, I think, is that these skills, resilience, optimism, self-reliance, entrepreneurship, they aren't fixed. The stories show they're developed, often in response to challenges, forged in the journey's difficulties.
That pulls it all together. Perspective to see the challenge differently, mindfulness to stay present in it, these skills to navigate through it. But what fuels the belief that we can even develop these skills?
Right.
That we can navigate and grow?
Well, that brings us to the growth mindset. The sources position this as the underlying belief system that makes developing and using all these other skills possible.
Growth mindset. That's the idea that abilities aren't fixed, right? They can be developed through effort and learning.
Exactly. Versus a fixed mindset, which is your intelligence, your talents, they're just set traits. You're either good at something or you're not. Think about learning, say public speaking. Fixed mindset says, nope, not a natural, never will be. Growth mindset says, this is tough now, but I can learn, I can practice, I can improve.
A fundamental difference in how you see capability itself. Why is this mindset so critical for the journey, especially the bumpy parts?
Well, one source breaks down a few key reasons. First, it just gives you permission to try new things. If abilities are learnable, your past doesn't lock you in. You can step into new territory, learn new skills, change careers, whatever.
It removes that I can't because I haven't barrier.
Precisely. Second, huge link here. It directly fosters resilience. We just talked about that. The source mentions Carol Dweck's work showing brain activity differences. Growth mindset folks make a mistake. Their brain lights up in ways showing error processing learning. Fixed mindset folks, often no such activity. The mistake might just confirm their belief of inability so the brain doesn't engage in learning from it.
Wow. So a fixed mindset can literally short-circuit learning from mistakes. That's biologically significant. It reinforces that mistakes aren't judgments, they're data.
Absolutely. Data for growth, if you have the right mindset. Third, Growth mindset enables iteration and adaptation. Life rarely goes to plan A. You need to adjust. Growth mindset lets you take feedback, even tough feedback, see it as info to get better, adapt your approach. Fixed mindset might see criticism as proof of failure, leading to defensiveness or quitting.
Feedback becomes a tool, not a threat.
Exactly. Lets you iterate, try again, smarter. Fourth, maybe surprisingly, it keeps you humble. Knowing there's always more to learn, mastery is ongoing. It prevents stagnation, keeps you open, curious, adaptable.
Okay, clearly powerful. How do we build it if we feel kind of fixed in our thinking sometimes?
Sources offer practical steps. First, embrace challenges. Actively seek out things that stretch you. See them as learning opportunities, not tests you might fail. Start small, build confidence.
Lean into difficulty. Don't shy away.
Yeah. Second, celebrate effort, not just the win. Recognize persistence, trying different strategies. That's what leads to growth. Reward the process, the learning, not just the final score.
Focus on the work itself.
Third, cultivate curiosity. Be genuinely interested in learning new things. Read, ask questions, try workshops. Curiosity fuels growth. Fourth, prioritize learning over seeking approval. Focus on getting better, not just looking good or impressing people. Takes the pressure off, allows for mistakes.
Less performance, more exploration.
Right. And fifth, hang out with growth-minded people. Their attitude is contagious. They'll likely challenge you, encourage you, inspire you.
So the growth mindset is like the operating system that lets you run all the other programs, the skills, the perspective, shifts seeing challenges as chances to evolve, makes the whole journey feel more engaging.
They all definitely weave together. Perspective frames it, mindfulness anchors you moment to moment, skills help you navigate, and growth mindset provides the core belief that makes it all feel possible and worthwhile.
And that brings us to the final practice we looked at, which kind of brings it full circle, reinforcing that positive perspective and presence. Gratitude. More than just saying thanks, right? The sources frame it as a serious health habit.
They really do. One source from UCLA Health makes a strong case. Regularly focusing on the good stuff, even small things, for maybe 15 minutes a day. It's not just nice. It's linked to measurable mental and physical health benefits. Benefits that directly help us handle life's ups and downs and appreciate the ride.
And the benefits are pretty broad.
They are. Gratitude practice is linked to fewer symptoms of depression, higher life satisfaction, better relationships, more self-esteem. Actively looking for the good makes it harder for negativity to dominate.
And anxiety. That often yanks you out of the present.
Totally. Anxiety often spins stories about the future or regrets about the past. Gratitude anchors you firmly in the now by asking, what's good right here, right now? Consciously finding something positive in this moment can interrupt those negative thought loops.
A concrete tool for managing worry. And it impacts physical health, too. Heart health.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? Research suggests gratitude can positively influence heart disease risk factors, help lower blood pressure, improve the rhythm between breathing and heart rate.
Wow, a direct physical effect from a mental practice.
Speaks volumes about the mind-body link. Gratitude also directly eases stress. It activates the rest and digest system, calming down the fight or flight response, lowers heart rate, blood pressure.
So it literally calms your body down.
Yep. And finally, it helps with sleep. People practicing gratitude often adopt other healthy habits that help sleep. But more directly, by reducing stress, anxiety, depression, all major sleep killers, it creates a calmer mind, ready for rest. Ending the day thinking about what you're grateful for is a great sleep prep routine.
With all that, health habit makes sense. How do we make it stick, make it a regular thing?
The source had simple tips. First, write it down. Gratitude journal. Just 3 things a day. The act of writing helps solidify it. Second, hit pause when you say thank you. Don't let it be automatic. Really pause. Feel what you're thankful for in that moment. Connect with it.
Be present with the gratitude itself.
Exactly. Third, redirect negative thoughts. Catch yourself spiraling. Consciously pivot. Find one small positive aspect or lesson in the situation. Focus there. Takes practice. Builds that positive seeking habit. And fourth, share it. Tell people why you appreciate them. Talk about what you're grateful for with others. Expressing it makes it stronger.
Small shifts add up to better living, like the source said. These simple, consistent practices just reinforce everything else, the perspective, the presence, making the whole journey feel richer.
So wrapping up this deep dive, you can see how the insights from all these sources weave together. Finding opportunity, finding joy during the journey, not just at the end, it's genuinely achievable.
Yeah.
It comes from consciously choosing your perspective,
Yeah.
anchoring in the present with simple mindfulness, building those key skills, resilience, optimism, self-reliance, entrepreneurship to navigate the bumps, underpinning it all with a growth mindset that says, I can learn and adapt, and then reinforcing it all with consistent gratitude.
The big takeaway really seems to be that every step, sunny days and April showers, smooth paths and roadblocks, they all hold opportunities.
Exactly. Opportunities to shift how you see things, to practice being present, to build skills, learn, grow stronger, and yeah, find a deeper, more continuous sense of fulfillment and joy, not just when you arrive, but in the actual process of getting there.
It really changes the whole definition of a good life, doesn't it? It's less about collecting destinations.
And more about enriching the expedition itself. The journey becomes the place where you cultivate that rich, meaningful, joyful life.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you listening right now. Think about the very next step on your path. Could be a tough conversation, a routine chore, starting something new, maybe just walking out the door. How will you choose to see that step?
And what tiny shift, what small practice could you bring to that moment to find the opportunity, the gift, maybe just a simple moment of presence or gratitude right there within it?
Something to chew on.
Definitely. Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into finding joy in the journey. We really hope these ideas offer some useful tools for your own path.
Until the next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep looking for those opportunities hidden in every step.